tell us who you are, and then tell us about your graphic novel.
My name is Wes Craig. Me and Rick Remender did a comic called Deadly Class, which is set in the 1980s underground scene of San Francisco, and it's about an assassin academy, and they are making a super cool TV show out of it, which is why we are here.
Why did you decide to set it in the 80s?
Well, it's kind of, a lot of it is based in Rick's experiences growing up in the punk scene of his teen years, you know. We're basically the same age. I was a little bit more the grunge era stuff or whatever, but it's a lot of overlap in that, you know, like in both of our experiences. We when we first started working on the comic together, it was a lot of getting on the phone and talking out the crazy, can we swear? No swearing. The crazy the crazy shit that happened to us as kids, you know? And that's kind of, there's the Assassin Academy aspect of the comic, and there's the just stuff that we just kids being kids, and the drama of being a teenager, and how intense it is when you're in that world, and that's kind of the two parts that we wanted to bring to the comic.
So, when you guys are taking a comic and turning it into a show, you guys have made many volumes of this, right? You know, and like you look at The Walking Dead and Kirkman and those guys, they've been like, hey, we're going to change certain things. Certain characters are going to die earlier or later because it keeps it interesting for the viewers and for the fans who've already read the book. As you guys were talking with the producers and working on the show, I know that a lot of it is even drawn directly from Western panels and that, but have you guys said, okay, we know that we need to change something up. We know that we need to keep it exciting in certain ways?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be about making it. It's not really about exciting. It's more shading. And as you get into the writers' room during the development process, and you begin to beat on the characters with other people, sometimes we'll find characters that can fill a bigger role, and we'll unpack those characters in a way where the space they can inhabit in the show, because basically we're trying to maintain a pace that Joe Russo refers to as muscular restraint, so that it takes a breath. And one of the biggest influences for me in the writing on this is the movie Slackers. And so that restraint enables us to slow down for a beat and let the characters talk and make it a character piece more than just a plot storyline. So in having that space to open it up, we're able to take characters like Benedict Wong, his character Master Lin, and we're able to unfold stories that are much bigger, and we're able to create entire new storylines that then interweave into a lot of the things that existed in the book. And so that's been the most gratifying, as well as being able to take characters like Petra and Brandy and Lex and Victor, and some of the characters that are sort of more peripheral in the book at first, and unpack them into bigger stories and roles, while still maintaining the integrity and the intention of what we did in the book. And I think that that's my favorite part of it, being able to, you know, sit with a group of people and slowly unpack things that they're sort of like untold tales of Deadly Class.
Since the comic book is still running as well, are you learning things from the television side of things that you're bringing back to the comic book, or maybe anticipating certain things?
I would say that, again, it speaks to unpacking characters in a way where I've had, in the 4 years of development for the TV show, from the very moment where you have to go out and pitch it to networks, you spend months and months rewriting the pitch and refining the characters and refining the story. So I think that what it made me do is put optics on any fat that was on the bone, and to get to the core of what each character is. So I think it's improved my ability to write them and my understanding of who they are.
Well, I want to talk about the visuals a little bit, because as I've seen the ads on the side of the bus, it reminds me of the first teasers and the covers that you did for the original series. I mean, it seems like they're really trying to take not just the story, but kind of the entire package of what the comic was and kind of bob that out to film. Have there been challenges there in kind of making those two connections?
Well, the initial art that they put out on the trolleys and the buses, I had a great idea to get we have so much fan art. I think what Wes inspires visually is, I've done a lot of creator-owned books, and I think that we get more fan art for Deadly Class than anything I've ever done. these are very iconic and wonderfully designed characters, and so Sci-Fi had the idea of taking some of that fan art and then plastering it on trolleys and buses.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful art. It's just spectacular. So it was a nice nod to the people that have supported us and enjoyed the book from the beginning, and the fans that had been sending art in. In terms of the wonderful banner that Image threw up, that was something that Wes and I worked on over the weekend, and then Wes really dug in with Drew Gill, and they designed that up. And fortunately, I occasionally I'll think optimistically. And while we were filming in Vancouver, I mentioned that the photographers should get yearbook style photos of all the cast in case we get to the point where we were going to make that, because Wes did this really wonderful yearbook layout that we use every once in a while. And so being able to take those two things and merge them, and then take the graphic design aesthetic that Wes has eloquently designed with the blood motif and these things, and translate that over, I think does a really nice job of marrying the two up.